Welcome to the South Texas TV studios alongside Ash. I'm your host, Brent. The Wade and Carter weather is brought to you by our great friends, and they really are great friends at AT Deerland Feed. Everything you need for your home, your ranch,
garden,
it's all at
yard.
Deerland Feed. Seeds, you want
Pets.
You want some chickens, you can be a farmer tomorrow. They'll have them. Get by there at 72 degrees in Victoria under clear skies, heading to a high today of 93. Should be an enjoyable start to the weekend.
And a slight chance of rain kind of lingering through the weekend. That's
Yeah.
about 40% chance tomorrow.
Sunday and Monday it picks up.
Sunday and Monday it picks up, but we're still not talking lots of rain.
I've also found that when the forecast says that it's going to start raining Sunday, it usually either does or doesn't on Saturday. I mean, it's like, right, they always seem to be, they're out there. Well, we're predicting rain early next week, and then Saturday afternoon it just starts raining.
Pouring. Yep.
And I don't know, or it doesn't rain at all. So very interesting.
We're huge in the Big Apple this morning. Peter Ignali checking in from New York City. Thank you, Peter.
Peter,
Appreciate that.
Thank you for checking in, sir. Travel safe up there. Peter, when you get back, we'd love a call. I know that you're an aficionado of many fine things. When you get back, I would love a call to discuss your favorite restaurants in New York and like when you go. When I go to Cabo San Lucas, as crazy as this sounds, I look forward to this one special Italian place that Dawn and I go every time we go because it's just that good. It's the cheat meal to end all cheat meals.
Yep.
And I know you have a couple of go-to spots in New York City.
I do.
And I would like to know, I think what I wonder is New York is so big and there's so many fine spots that does your go-to spot, is that a lot of people's go-to spot or is it just another spot and you just happen to love it?
I think it's just another spot that we just happen to love. My go-to Polish spot, because somebody had texted me over the summer asking, "Hey, I'm going to New York. Where's a good place to eat?" And there was a Polish restaurant in Brooklyn that no longer exists, and so I'm down to one go-to.
It was so
spot.
good it went broke.
Yeah, more or less.
There you go.
I think it never could quite recover from COVID, unfortunately.
As Yogi Berra once said, nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded.
Absolutely.
Funky Trey Molina checking in. Good morning, friend.
Judge Posey, Patricia Nagel, Andrew Alvarez, Greg Garcia, Jordan Glass, Lisa Poole, Stephanie Conti, Tammy Keeling, Carrie Bump, Justin Glass, Bobby Leister, Michelle Wilson-Hawkins, Scott Tomko, Ricky King, Diane Tippett, Will Vincent, Scott Snow, Kendra Douglas.
There you go.
I know Don and Cheryl are watching. Good morning, everybody.
Two lads in for sure. I did see Tammy Keeling in studio yesterday with Bill Posey. I thought, naively, maybe arrogantly, I don't know, maybe she would like stick her head in and go, "Hi, fellas." Nothing, got nothing.
She waved as we walked by.
Did she? That was one finger.
That was more
that
than
doesn't count. Give me the whole hand or give me nothing.
VISD not going to join the 60-plus school districts that have now joined the lawsuit against the TEA for changing up their accountability ratings. The crux of the lawsuit basically saying that they did not give enough notice as required to the way they are changing up these ratings.
There's a lot to be said for doing things according to your rules. You don't do them, you can get sued. Now, I don't know why VISD abstained from that. Is there money involved? They suing them for money?
Not according to the article I read.
They're just suing them just to show them who's boss? Just to give them the business,
maybe
kind
give
of
them
feed them their lunch?
Maybe so.
Huh?
Tell them to go back to the old way of doing things, which they probably won't. Cat's out of the bag.
What is the A through F deal? Is that rating school districts? Is that rate?
Yeah, and
so
campuses.
They're
and
upset.
I think I'm trying to remember the article because I was reading that. I was watching a few other things.
That's us, folks. News straight from the source. We bring it to you as we recall from casual observation.
Yes.
And it's just having a conversation. Most of the time, we're close to being correct.
And Tammy, I think, could probably knows a little bit more. But I think what the crux of the lawsuit is by the 60-plus who've now sued, a lot of Central Texas districts, a couple in Dallas, around Houston, is the accountability ratings will harm districts, and that will impact their state funding.
Oh,
so money is involved.
There you go.
But it's how it comes from the state.
Politics. See, Casey Lynn Kemp checking in reminds me to give you the industrial JV football update.
Oh, please.
Yeah. Last night we took the lengthy drive. Do you think about being in Vanderbilt, Texas? Must have been those 40 minutes to Victoria. Then it's another hour and a half, maybe hour 45 on a Yellow Dog bus to sunny, flat, and hot Mathis, Texas.
Boys, that's a fun drive.
To play the mighty Pirates, who were not.
So mighty?
Toothless and no knives. Yeah.
They were out of ARGs?
Yeah, they were. And they started out like that. You know it's cute, though, when they wanted to play, the band to play, it was on tape. It was really kind of cute. But
they were busy practicing for tonight.
My play of the game goes to a kid named Nick Salinas. I think it's Salinas. Defensive lineman, and there's so you have to picture you're in Mathis. And for our Magic listeners, indulge my attempt at an accent. But the guy was like, "It's third and sixth, and here come the Pirates." And so they hand off,
a lisp?
and the crowd, there's like a little scrum, if you will. And he goes, "And the pile is moving." And all of a sudden, rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, number 65 comes out of that scrum, turns around, and he is hauling butt down the left sideline. Biggest kid on the team, took the ball from the running back. The officials weren't blowing the whistle, right? We're in Mathis.
Yeah.
And they weren't blowing the whistle. After that play, every time the pile stopped, boop, that was it. Coach was like, "Blow the whistle."
Who's Salinas play for?
He plays
Mathis?
for us.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
good.
no. He
Okay.
defensive tackle, took it and ran. Caden ended up with
Score a touchdown?
No, but we did right after that, and Caden actually scored. We had he had 3 touchdowns rushing, 1 receiving, 187 all-purpose yards.
Nice.
Yeah, a little over 100 yards rushing and 80 yards receiving. So, good stuff.
I saw the video of his 80-yard touchdown run. And
My boy's fast.
You know what's interesting about football? The 40-yard dash to me is irrelevant. It's a nice gauge of speed. But until you have somebody chasing you that wants to tackle you,
Right.
that's the speed that matters. And I was impressed with Caden because watching that video, he pulled away from the guys chasing him
Oh, yeah.
that wanted to tackle him.
Casey Lynn Kemp states it exactly right. We have a radio show to do, so we have to stretch a little bit. She says, our boys dominated every second of that game. That's a true story.
Leanne Knowles checking in. Funky Trey Molina says he tried to read the article as well. Greg Garcia and Wendy Hughes Garcia checking in. Tammy Keeling says TEA changed the target by about 20 points and then used prior year's numbers. She says that's like getting a new sales goal for your job and then being told last year's numbers will be used, thus giving you no way to meet the higher expectations.
Fair enough. Good analogy. So,
Don't last year's numbers usually set your goals?
they usually do, but I see exactly what she's saying, though, is that you don't move the target, especially when there's millions of dollars at stake.
Yeah, they're moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
Paul Rodriguez, good morning. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I can't imagine this is going to be settled anytime soon.
Astros update brought to you by the great folks at First State Bank of Louise.
Didn't play last night.
Quite simply the friendliest bank anywhere. No, they didn't play, but they moved up in the standings. As the Texas Rangers fall late, Asher will give you the details in a second,
2 out,
to the Seattle
2-run
Mariners.
single by the Mariners.
So the
Rangers
Mariners
led
are
2-1 with
losing
2 outs.
2-1. They are down to are they on the road? Are they in Texas?
No, they're at home.
They are down to their last out in their last at-bat. 2-run single, win the game 3-2 with a walk-off single. Boy, if you're that guy on first base and there's a single into, say, right field, when that coach at third is saying go home, you are motoring to score from first. How is that only a single? Makes you wonder where the defense was. See if
I
you
don't
can
know
give us a
I
highlight.
don't know where the base runners were. Might have been second and third. I don't know.
JP what's his name?
Crawford.
He's a player. Is he the one that got the hit?
Yes, he got the 2-out hit.
Honestly, all that was going through my head was just get it done. Like I said earlier, just be him. There's really nothing else to it. Keep it simple. Do your job. End of story. Is that guy available? Could he come play with us? What does J.P. Crawford play? Is he an outfielder?
Good question. I don't know. Seattle. Don't care.
No, I'd like to get him. Get him here. I like that attitude.
According to ESPN, Seattle's rally started in the 9th. Aroldis Chapman gave up 2 hits and a walk.
He's done.
Then Jonathan Hernandez came in, retired pinch hitter Mike Ford on a fly ball to shallow center. Josh Rojas fouled out for the 2nd out, which wasn't deep enough for Cal Raleigh to score from 3rd. And then
Cal
Crawford
Raleigh sounds like a school like Cal Berkeley.
Then Crawford went the other way on a 1-1 pitch over the head of left fielder. So I'm thinking Carter was drawn in.
I know why. They call it a single because it was a walk-off. That's what it was. It might have been a double. But, I mean, you don't double. And once you get to first and the other 2 runs scored, it's game over.
Yeah.
How about, though, Chapman? Chapman's a guy they paid big money to bring in because he was the big, mighty closer, the missing piece. They've got him. He didn't close.
No.
He's
Couple
not the
times
guy.
He hasn't done that.
Yeah. This is the coach. What JP brings every day and how he goes about it and how he's turned into a leader on our ball club, it shows up. Your best players got to play well in the big moments, and he did tonight. Got to give
Service, the manager of the Mariners.
tip of the Astros, tip of the cap to the Astros the last couple of games. You have seen
the last game.
Alvarez. Well, but this season, the cream has risen to the top. Alvarez, team leader. Tucker, team leader. Bregman having a tremendous year among third basemen. And, interestingly enough, Mauricio Dubon. I visited with a guy in Houston 2 weeks ago. And he said, you know what, I could let Jeremy Pena go and let Dubon be my everyday shortstop because the guy hits the ball better than Pena. He's just as good in the field. And I thought, you might want to stop right there. Maybe not quite that good. And Dubon.
See, and I'm going to argue with you that the cream hasn't risen to the top because the best the Astros can do this year is 89 and 73 when they've won 100 games every year for the last
Don't forget,
5.
they've played, 30 games against teams like the Rangers and Marlins, both of whom are really good. I mean, the Rangers have led the division
most of the season.
And what have they got, 90 wins? I mean, it's not
they could all potentially end up at 89 and 73. No,
and
I don't think any of them can get
I
don't think any of them can get. No, I think we get the second. I think if we all end up at 89 and 73, the Blue Jays are out.
Okay. So we do control our own destiny. The Astros need to win the next 3 games, first of which is tonight against
Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah. So that Astros update brought to you by the First State Bank of Louise.
Mariners have to sweep the Rangers in order to get first place.
Who's starting tonight? J.B. France?
Good question.
Hunter Brown? Hunter Brown's like 11 and 12.
Yeah, he's struggling. I don't think Brown will be. I don't think he'll be on the.
There it is.
Yep.
Oh no,
no, it's yesterday.
I apologize.
Today's Friday. There it is. Let's see who we got. Start. Go all the way down here because it's a late game out in. Yeah, JP France, 11 to 6.
That's all right. France is a good player. Sub-4 ERA, which in this era seems to be pretty
against Arizona's Zach Gallen, who's got 17 wins.
So he's their best.
Probably so.
Why is everybody trying to beat the Astros?
I don't know.
Bring one.
Because I don't think the Diamondbacks are in the playoffs yet either. They're in a tight race.
They're 7.
That's why.
What is their record?
84 and 75, I think.
There's a lot of good baseball being played this year, folks. A lot of good baseball. Man, look at the Atlanta Braves won 103 games. You know how good you got to be to win 103 games?
Yeah, we've been that good for the last few years.
Yeah. Allen's Record Service, folks, 578-6300. Let Allen get you where you need to be. Allen's towing service is simply the best on the planet.
Second to none.
All the way up to a 75-ton crane, they can get you where you need to be. The VCS companies power the Wade and Carter program with technology, monitors, iPhones. The only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer resides on Kerr Boulevard just inside the loop off Main. Go by the VCS companies today. Chestnut Furniture. You just always do better at Chestnut. Chester
Always.
can love, make your house a home. Get by and see Bobby Leon. Tell him Wade and Carter sent you. That'll get you free delivery. Recliner, best recliner, Stearns & Foster bedding, Tempur-Pedic bedding. They've got it all. Get by Chesty today. They also have all kinds of
accoutrement.
There you have it. Veracruz, the best restaurant, the best Mexican food for sure in town. I want to get to that, back to that. So that's a good quick break. I want to get back to Veracruz, folks, today or not until Monday. So if you've got a go-to spot, I mean, that's my spot. I'm in, if I'm in Bay City, believe it or not, there's a place called Fat Grass. Fun spot to go, food, drinks, good place to be. If I'm in, Corpus, I like to go to Eddie's Bakery, a little hole-in-the-wall Mexican place. It's fantastic. It's where I would go if I have the opportunity to be there. In Victoria, where is that? It's Veracruz, but if it's not Veracruz, where is your go-to spot? Somebody's coming to town. Hey, Torrin Bales, I'm in Victoria tonight. Where should I go eat? Is it Greeks 205? Is it Tacos and Tequila? Is it Pump House? All things being considered, is it Uncle Mutt's? Is there a place that you're like, oh, that's... We were in El Campo a couple of weeks ago and went into the Greeks restaurant there. Fantastic. Even a different atmosphere than our own Greeks here.
Yeah.
Just like, wow. I can't believe this isn't in Victoria. We went to a place in either Yoakum or Shiner. Donnie will help me in a minute. And it looked like a place that you would say, it looked like 5D Tavern. It looked like Moonshine. And they had really great pizza and burgers. And it was really good.
And this was where? Shiner? I'm guessing Shiner.
No, I'm thinking it was Yoakum.
Okay.
And because I remember being like, really? What is it doing here? What did B. Small say? Just good to see B. Small checking in. He's been traveling.
Jonathan Williams says Crawford's a shortstop and says it was scored a double.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, J-Dub. That's J-Dub 2 because there's J-Dub, who, of course, is Justin Wiley.
Stuart Martin checking in. There's Johnny Houghton. Good to see you. Johnny says the Blue Jays have to win 2 of 3 in order to guarantee themselves a spot.
Jonathan, did you see where I was on that? Very difficult for somebody to score from first on a single. I was like, man.
Got to be fast.
You got to be fast.
Tina Arterberry checking in. Be small.
Donnie says Yoakum.
It was in Yoakum. Okay, there you go. Funky Trey Molina checking in. Roy Gutierrez, good morning.
Hey, there's Kendall checking in.
There's
Good morning, Kendall.
Yep. Stuart Martin, good morning.
You know that's my favorite kid.
Of course it is.
I've got 5.
She's the only one checking in right now.
Right.
That's why.
And Kendall gets that part of it. She'll be with her brother Kyle, and she'll call me, and I don't know if it's the bond between father and daughter, but it's the unspoken, Dad, hey, it's Kendall. Hey, baby. She's like, I just called to find out who's your favorite. And I'm on speakerphone, and I go.
So you play along?
Oh, well, it's not even playing. I just go, well, of course it's you, Kendall. You know that you're my favorite. And in the background, I hear call, I'll just carry on the family name. I'm like, well, why don't you wait till you're married first there, Sporto?
He's carrying on and nobody knows.
Right. Maybe he's carrying on a bunch of little Carters running around the 5th Ward.
Nobody knows.
Kendall's a sweetheart.
So, Shutdown Looms, folks. The Shutdown Looms.
We're down. At any moment, the government can shut down.
Oh, not any moment, but October 1st.
Paid. Kevin McCarthy, it's all on you. What are we doing? But the money to Ukraine will still go, and we'll still take care of the border as much as we have.
Senate apparently passed a bipartisan short-term funding bill. Could be passed Sunday. But Kevin McCarthy says he's not going to bring it up for a vote.
It'd be the
border security, Ukraine, and overall spending levels is the issue. I heard a report, and I struggled to find it, so I don't. And I was we were working hard to try to get Michael Cloud to call in this week, but I know he's busy up there with all this stuff. But
Mr. Busy.
2 things that stuck out this week. Nikki Haley says in 40 years, 4 times is the only time that Congress has passed a budget.
Wow.
We've got some issues. And that's the one job they have. They control the budget, and they can't get it done.
And to give you perspective, if they do shut down tomorrow night, it's the 22nd time that they've done this.
Since 1976.
Yeah.
No big
It's
big
not
deal.
the end of the world if they shut down.
No. It's not even the end. No.
It makes you wonder, when people stop for a second and think about it, what if the federal government just shut down? I'll ask you, aside from getting your Social Security check, what does the federal government really do? I don't want to say that it impacts your life, because they do a lot that impacts your life with taxes and the IRS and all that. But if tomorrow you woke up and found out that the federal government had shut down, how does that change your day? The problem, they don't want you to realize that you'd get by just fine without the federal government. You would. And if they needed to be able to pay air traffic controllers, they'd find a way, within all the trillions of dollars they take every year, they'd find a way to pay those folks.
Well, and they back pay them.
Yeah, you're going to pay it sooner or later anyway, so what does it matter if it shuts down?
Be small ass if Wade and Carter will shut down. Never.
We're not shutting
on the
down, and we're not
dole.
federally funded.
No. Daniel Wade White says Morning shut them down.
Yeah, I agree.
But again,
they won't, though. It's good at the last minute, and it'll be some deal where the Republicans give in
Scott
on
Tomko
something.
says we will shut down for the weekend. Here's the thing, though, and again, depending on who you talk to, on the high end, 18% of the government actually has to close its doors.
And very few are visible at all.
And on the other end of the spectrum, it's about 12 to 13% of the government actually has to shut down when these funding issues, budget crises happen. We're talking, so
the military
let's
doesn't just go home
and let's assume that the percentages hold true to who's affected in this country, right? 13 to 18% of this country might feel a pinch because of the shutdown in one way or another, probably not even financially.
B. Small says maybe just the sea will shut down. If I were to shut down and Ash carried on, that would only be like 13 to 18% of the show.
Yeah.
The other 87, the
Comes
other
from me
82
anyway.
on the low end comes from Ash anyway. I'm like, yeah, okay, we're partners, but I'm Ed McMahon. He's Johnny Carson. I just sit here and go, ho, 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 ho.
Oh, you deliver a few one-liners that Ed never could.
Right? No, I'm much funnier than Ed. Yeah. No, I ain't no Mr. Ed.
No, you're the other end of Mr. Ed sometimes.
Right. The badass.
Scott Tomko says it's more of a pause than a shutdown. All pay is received eventually. Ricky King says we'd be better off.
The government guys, they're looking forward to it. Give me a week off. I'll go back and get paid double next week.
Greg Garcia says government shutting down is like a restaurant being closed for health code violations. Life goes on, and they eventually reopen. Absolutely.
There you go. You never did tell me your go-to spot. Like, what's your go-to spot in Victoria? Somebody comes in from out of town. J-Dub comes in. He's got a little class, a little elan, a little flair.
Depending on what they want.
I want you to take me to your favorite restaurant. I'm putting you on the spot here. I'm doing it. I'm making you make the call. You can't say Chick-fil-A at UHV. That's not the answer.
No, if they want Mexican food, I take it to Veracruz.
Of course you do.
Absolutely. So, there.
Tell the truth.
And usually that's what they want.
If you want a steak, what do? You go to Sam's and you cook it for them yourself.
Grab it at the chopping block. Best ribeyes ever.
Oh, no kidding. What's their special this week?
Beef fajita meat on sale for. They've got the outside skirts, $8.99 a pound.
They got the upskirts?
They had about 160 pounds of it in stock. I'm sure they're down to about half of that.
Is it seasoned?
No. You get to do it all yourself. That's the best part.
Sweet. How much a pound?
$8.99.
Wow, that's cheap.
Yeah.
That is cheap, folks.
And while you're there, grab the 90-10 lean ground beef. If they still have any of
$6.99
that.
a pound, and it freezes wonderfully. What you do is you take it home. I know I'm telling you stuff, but take it home and flatten it out into patties. Put the wax paper between them and put them in the freezer, and they're good to go. You take them out, take a little butter knife, pop one off, put it in the skillet.
Yep.
90-10, very lean.
And you don't even have to wait for them to thaw out.
No.
Throw them on the grill or in the skillet or wherever you
Absolutely.
On your Blackstone.
This weekend you got time, Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Palace Bingo will be rocking all weekend.
Go get rich.
Get out there, Gray Barn Mercantile. Let Cheryl help you decorate your life. You can
She'll
see
be
here,
downtown this weekend.
we still have a beautiful flower
We
arrangement
do.
that we got from Cheryl at the Gray Barn. It's just gorgeous. And these flowers these are all fresh flowers, and they're real. They
They are
smell
real.
great.
They smell great.
Our
Look
studio
nice.
smells nice.
Fall colors.
Yes. Folks, you don't know what it's like standing here next to this Canadian. I don't know what their deal is with hygiene. Sometimes they bathe, sometimes they don't. Depends on if they've been at Moose Knuckle. Twisted Taint, Alberta. You don't know where they are.
Twisted Taint, Alberta.
I
I've never been there.
I
It must
can't-
be up in Wood Buffalo National Park.
I can't get you to laugh. It's so much work. Folks, it's hard doing this show by myself.
Maybe if you came with something funny.
Are we through with that? If I did that, I wouldn't be on this network. Are we?
No, we're not. through with that.
Atzenhofer, Folks. Reach out to Atzenhofer for your next Chevy, Mazda, Mitsubishi. That CX-90 is
I
a
cracked
beautiful
me up.
ride. You did. You made yourself laugh.
I did.
And I do you the courtesy on live broadcast of laughing along. I'm like your laugh track. Do you have one over there?
I don't think so.
I think there is one in there.
That's close enough,
Go
isn't
up.
it? There it is.
you
There it
go.
is.
There's the Wade Carter laugh track. AJ's detailing.
Even they don't have much.
No, they're kind of like, huh. It sounds like a cocktail
Yeah.
party, a bunch of women. AJ's detailing. Let AJ put a brand new buff on your used vehicle.
He'll wash it up for you, clean the interior, make it look new again.
Yeah. Oh, B Small says Ash is starting to shut down now. You know, if you open the doors of your car and you look back in where the hinge is and you see all that, if it's been raining, that's irrelevant here.
Yeah.
But where the dirt gathers, the detailing, he's got the right little brush to get in there and get all that.
All that
There's
dirt and
nothing
dust.
worse than like wearing a pair of slacks and getting out of the truck, and as you get down, your leg hits the door, and all of a sudden there's dirt all over your pants. What did he say?
It's just for the love of J.R. Richard, label those buttons. It's more fun just pushing random buttons, though.
Yeah, it's and for the love of J.R. Richard, no kid. It's like, is he throwing the fastball? Is he throwing the slider? I don't know. Just get ready. It's coming your way. Be Small, what's your prediction for the weekend? You got the Rangers playing the Mariners, playing them 4. If the Rangers were to lose all 4 games, and they would effectively be out.
No, I think they could be in. If they three-way tie, all 3 teams get in. The Blue
Does it
Jays, I
take
think,
all
would be
4
out, I think.
losses for them to be?
Seattle has to sweep to win the division.
Seattle would then win it. Why wouldn't we win the division if we sweep? We're ahead of Seattle. If we win all 3 games
Oh,
against
if
the
we win,
Diamondbacks,
yeah, if we win, yeah.
and Seattle wins all 4 games against the Rangers,
Then
you're
I think the
telling me
Rangers might be out.
if the Rangers would that be the most epic fold up in the history of Major League Baseball?
No,
Okay,
didn't the
the
Phillies
ball gets by Buckner.
didn't the Phillies blow like a 9-game lead with 2 weeks left or something way back when?
I don't. Yeah, but I mean that's how
I think you were just a wee toddler then.
I would have been. What was it, in the 70s?
So
Think about how tragic. That's what's her name? That's Andy Griffith, and that's Miss.
I hate
Crump.
all these stupid pop-up stuff
I
at
do
the
too.
bottom. They're just useless clickbait stuff.
What about
But
that? Would be something. I don't think it's going to happen, but man, that would be something. If the Rangers just win one of these games, they're definitely in the playoffs. That's got to put some pressure on you, man.
if the Rangers win the division and everyone else is 88-74 or possibly 87-75, the Mariners and Blue Jays would be in, and the Astros would be sitting at home.
Man,
If it's
Isn't
just
that
Seattle and
something?
Toronto left for that final wild card spot, Toronto is out. If Texas and Seattle are fighting for it, the Mariners end up sitting at home. So this is going to be
this
a
is
fun
as
weekend.
good a
Yep.
race as you're ever going to see in baseball, and they're definitely coming around turn 3.
B. Small says we'll find a way to lose. The Rangers shutdown starts Monday. I don't think so. I don't think.
I think they go. To the
I mean,
playoffs. I don't think they
it's
go
hard
very far,
enough to
though.
win a 3-game series. To sweep a 4-game series, it's even harder.
But you got to have some help from the Rangers to do it, and it's hard to play left field with one hand on your throat.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is anybody going to beat the Orioles? Honestly, in a 7-game series,
Yeah, I mean they just clinched the East, picked up their 100th win.
I like.
They're leading the. Nobody else can catch them in the win division. Well, I guess Tampa Bay with 3 left could probably get there, but they're not going to win the division. But
Tampa Bay's had a heck of a season, 97-62. 97 is a lot of wins.
Yeah, and you don't win a division.
Wow.
You're knocking on the door of 100 wins, and you're not winning your division.
In contrast, Minnesota's leading their division at 85. Rangers at 89.
Yeah. Braves at 103. Milwaukee.
How about the Brewers with
90 wins
90
quietly?
Wins. Yeah. I don't remember
Dodgers will
anything
probably
about
win
the
100
Brewers
games.
all year. I can't name one Brewers player.
I think
Paul Molitor.
I think
Robin Yount. That's all I got.
Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh Fingers in the later years.
I think Craig Counsell's their manager, and there's word that he may not be back.
Is he also playing a little?
He might be.
Didn't he bat lefty?
I don't remember.
I think he played for the Giants.
Marlins maybe too. There's a few.
Are you content to let Dusty Baker walk after this season?
He's going to walk.
Are you
Mark my
content?
words. Yeah, I think so. I think it's time.
I am too.
I think they need. Terry Francona's retiring. I thought he from Cleveland, he would be an awesome one to get, but he's done. He's going to retire.
Put Lance Berkman in there and let's play baseball.
I look at the work Council's done in Milwaukee with a small market. Many of the baseball pundits say a woefully underfunded team, and he's got 90 wins out of that team.
Can you imagine?
And you're in a division with the Cubs, who spent a crap ton of money.
So here's what I want to give you. I'm going to give you a visual, and this is not exaggerative. This is what I really think could happen.
That's not what?
Exaggerative.
Is that a word?
Yes, of course it is. Can you imagine Craig Biggio? We don't want Biggio as the hitting coach because nobody ever flailed at more sliders than Craig Biggio.
Or hit into double plays when it mattered.
Berkman is your skipper. He's the guy. He's wearing the gloves. He's got the wristbands. He's the guy. But mid-inning, when you need a visit to the mound, that's Bagwell. Bagwell comes out. I want you to picture the other night, 6th inning, Montero's on the mound. Bagwell calls time. Bagwell walks out wearing his number 5 jersey, walks up, puts his hand on Montero's shoulder, and just jacks him in the jaw right there on the mound and just drops him. Montero quivers momentarily on the ground. I'm telling you. You saying there's crickets to that story?
No. I'm thinking the fans would cheer.
I'm telling you, it would be the greatest moment in baseball. Wham! And just drop him. Let's go, you suck. Get off my field. There would be an intensity in the locker room.
How about Major League Baseball investigating that Neris Rodriguez?
Oh, I need to find that. I think Donnie sent me.
5 teams still in the mix for the National League wild card spot, so it's gonna be fun in the National League this weekend. But
let me.
We digress and probably have talked enough sports today.
No, it's our show. I'm not giving in to Cali Frommy. Let me read this to you. Hector Neris talking about his Julio Rodriguez experience just real quickly. He says, first, I want to apologize to Julio, his family, and the Mariners organization. And people are like, why would you bother to apologize? It's baseball. He said, second, he goes down. He's a great player. He's a big deal in the U.S. and the Dominican Republic. Second, Julio's been a friend of mine dating back to 2020 when we spent the pandemic working out together. We've had a friendly competition when one beats the other on the field, something that is customary in the Dominican and especially among friends. My intent in going towards Julio was to get his attention as part of the friendly ongoing banter that we have had over the years. I recognize that last night I should not have done this.
Oh, bull crap. You shouldn't have done that. Yes, you should have done it.
Yeah.
It's what makes sports sports.
Amen. And the whole idea
you want to sit there and beat somebody and not have an opportunity to gloat?
That's right.
Go play tiddlywinks or something.
That's exactly right. As Mike Brown would say, why don't we all just put on a skirt and just, yeah, I agree 100%. Hector Neris threw that guy 3 straight split-finger fastballs that just died.
3 straight whiffs.
And Julio whiffed, and it was a moment where you needed Hector Neris to do what he did. I was proud of him. Yeah, B Small saying, wait, what did he do?
I hit the right button.
When he struck him out, B Small, he walked over and he was like, yeah, get some of that, and all of a sudden the bench is emptied, and then it was like the second time.
Yeah.
I had just seen the other day that Chaz McCormick got hit in the back with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
Here's what. If you're going to investigate anything, don't investigate what the two players did. Investigate the overreaction of the two benches.
Oh, yeah. Coming out onto the field.
Yeah. No, ridiculous. But anyway.
Craziness.
End of an era at Netflix.
What happened?
They will ship their final DVDs today.
What do they just say? Don't send them back?
Well,
keep.
They don't want them.
Keep it.
Remember back in the late 90s, that was all the rage. You mailed in a form.
But think
then you
about,
went online and filled out a form, and they sent you movies, and you didn't have to go to Blockbuster anymore.
But the people that are smart, if you
or
think
Hollywood
about
Video.
it, the natural, logical progression, and the people that really missed the boat on this, HBO. When you look back, the natural progression is
and Blockbuster. And
you
Hollywood
and I are
Video.
going to Blockbuster, and we're picking up videos, and don't forget to rewind. And then people bought rewinders, and so
you got fined if you didn't rewind.
Then it's like
signs on the door. Please be kind. Rewind.
Give us a heads up and just order it. We'll mail it right to your house. And somebody.
Well, remember you could reserve them at first. Remember Blockbuster? If you paid more for that membership, you could reserve movies for the weekends.
Right. But somebody smarter than us was going, wait a minute, why can't I just do this on demand? Why can't I just download these movies?
Well, and Netflix took it another step further and said, you know what? Instead of paying others for the content, let's just put that money and create the content.
Yeah, and they've done great work with some of their series.
And that's where HBO really missed the boat. Because HBO was doing it. HBO had a lot of good original programming when they were simply pay-per-view movie service. And somehow they fell apart and fell asleep at the switch and let Netflix become the producer and out HBO.
Yeah. HBO came to Victoria, Texas probably in the mid-'70s, Ash, almost 50 years ago. And I can remember because all the rage. I can remember that it was a big deal that they show R-rated movies on TV. I remember that was a big deal.
You had to pay for it.
I remember growing up.
Everybody sharing scramblers.
Many of you here in town.
Scramblers, I should say.
The Mize family. Brother Jimmy Mize was our pastor at Northside Baptist Church. And then his son Brian and I were in the same class, and his older son Jeff was 1 year older. But Jeff was driving by then, so I'm thinking it's probably like 77, 78, something like that. Well, the Mize kids, without any real interaction, just went and signed up the family for HBO. The Baptist preacher had to put the interruptus on that. It's like, hey, whoa, what? I got to watch the message I'm sending here. We're not bringing, some of these films into our home. It's a big deal. It was a different time. It was a better time.
It was a different time.
What do you read? Of course, y'all
B. Small says Larry Mize was a strong golfer. Wrong Mize family.
Larry Mize wasn't that good a golfer. He was just from Augusta, and he chipped in to win one tournament. I guess he beat Greg Norman, too, didn't he?
Yeah. John, there might be the greatest collapse in all of golf.
Yeah.
Or in all the sports. Forget baseball collapses.
They made a big
Jonathan
deal.
Williams asks, Gamefly still exists? That was kind of the Netflix version for gamers. I don't
One
think it
year
does.
when one of the tournaments that Greg Norman lost at Augusta was to Sir Nick Faldo, and people were like, oh, Norman crumbled. People forget that Norman shot like one over maybe. Nick Faldo was the only player in the field that day to be under par.
Yeah.
He went and won the golf tournament. Norman didn't lose it.
If Faldo doesn't do what he did, Norman wins the green jacket. Ryder Cup begins today. 14.5 points gets you the
You see that
Ryder
segue,
Cup.
folks? It's just It's just seamless. It's like dancing with Ash.
I think it's on already because it's in Italy, so it's going to be early here.
U.S. probably expected to win that Ryder Cup. Sergio Garcia no longer really plays golf. Ian Woosnam is old. Who even plays for the foreigners? They just very quietly got
Rory McIlroy, John Rahm,
or Rahm.
Rahm.
Yeah, just
I can know that H throws me off every time.
Well, because you're Russian.
Yeah, 12:30 this morning they teed off our time.
Wow.
Not Italy time, obviously.
Let me see if I can. I can't believe that many of you.
Here's the U.S. team.
Our guy didn't.
Who is our captain? Oh, Zach Johnson. Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, Max Homa, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harmon are the automatic qualifiers for the Ryder Cup team for the U.S. Captain's picks were Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, Brooks Koepka, Justin Thomas,
Good
Sam
picks.
Burns, Colin Morikawa for Europe. McIlroy, Rahm, Robert McIntyre, Tyrrell Hatton, Matt Fitzpatrick, Victor Hovland were the auto qualifiers. Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, Sepp Stratka, Shane Lowry, Ludwig Aberg,
say it Irish. Shane Lowry.
Shane Lowry,
Hey,
Ludwig Aberg, and Nikolai Højgaard
y'all
was
go
the
ahead.
captain's pick by Luke Donald, the captain. Are
See,
you going to
this
watch
is-
it now?
There you go. This is the VCS companies. I'm just on Fubo watching the Ryder Cup live.
What's the score?
I don't know.
Europe's up 4-0.
They're tied in 8 matches. They're up in 7 matches. They're tied in 6, and I don't even know what that means. This is Schauffele. Europe's up 4.
I don't know what that means, but Europe's up 4-0. All right, I'll just. Yeah, that's a nice shot. Well, I had to mute because that's loud.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, let me just turn that
Turn
on.
that down. There's Brent Anderson.
Look, let's ask Brent Anderson. Brent Anderson, does it surprise you?
There's your
that-
boy OB.
Hello, Arthur O'Brien. We were waiting for a phone call from our buddy Charlie Alcorn. Watch Zippy, Brent Anderson will tell you.
Tom Kingston, good morning. BJ
Hey,
Nelson
Tommy.
checking in from Port O'Connor.
B. Small wants to know where Fuzzy Zeller is in this match.
David Brogger bringing up Napster.
They added up that all these people that are captains and co-captains on this team,
Yep.
every one of them has a career losing Ryder Cup record. Even Davis Love III.
B. Small says we have a 300-inch monitor behind us. Turn it on.
Yeah, I don't know how to get it up there.
Well, we would have to Bluetooth it and it disconnects. And I'm not sure Brent could do that.
I know I couldn't do it.
Brent
If I were to
Anderson?
actually find that cable, could we do it then?
Probably not from there.
I'm not happy, folks. Oh, you know what? They
Is this
make
on
a
your
deal
phone?
that goes from this to a
Oh, do-
HDMI.
okay, well, then we could have, yep.
Well, then I'll find
Didn't
it.
have that deal.
You'll have it on Monday. Tune in Monday to see what we've got going.
Big story in the New York Times this morning. Many of you probably didn't see it because none of you read the New York Times, but apparently mosquitoes are getting very, very
Aggressive,
resistant to existing strategies, and apparently deaths from mosquito-borne illnesses rose.
Oh, come on.
627,000 people died from mosquito-borne illnesses in
They
2020.
needed to go. They needed to go.
Well,
Let's get some more bats.
Here's the question though: is this a bunch ado about nothing?
Yeah, if you're dying
The
of
New York
mosquito
Times-
bites, you need to go.
The New York Times had 2 reporters on this. Spent a bunch of money to send people down into Africa.
Because that's what you want to do. You want to go. In other news, people die of snake bites. You don't send them out barefooted on the King Ranch either. Don't be stupid.
So 627,000 people died of mosquito-borne illnesses. Maybe malaria only. I'm not sure, but still, in a world of 8 billion people, that translates to 0.007%
Yeah.
of the world's population. When you have environmentalists claiming that there's way too many people on Earth, this is going to be the next. This will be the next, and they'll blame climate change for it.
Yeah.
When in reality, what's happening with the researchers have found out, but they don't want you to know this, the mosquitoes have become adaptable to the insecticides that they're using, and mosquito nets, which are used inside, have proven effective against mosquitoes that tend to I read the article, thrive inside. But the outside ones are becoming more aggressive because the inside ones aren't. And it's only the females that bite because they need the protein in the blood to produce eggs.
It is so much more interesting when you read the articles.
It is.
Sometimes you just peruse the headlines and we opine upon them. But today you read the article.
I did.
Stunning.
It was long.
Your commitment to this program, it stirs my cockles. I don't even know what that means, and it sounds kind of nasty.
Kind of does, but I don't think it does. I don't think it is.
What's something else that sounds kind of nasty that isn't? Dank.
Moist.
There was a guy, he was from the Carolinas, folks, and he used to say the word M-O-I-S-T. We all say moist. And if you're not careful, it is almost 2 syllables. Moist. It's hard to get. There's not
it's kind of one,
oi. There's not an oi.
Well, there is if you're in Australia.
M-O-Y-S-T, kind of moist. But he would say, the ground is very moist. Moist.
That's a very North Carolina thing to say.
Very homo. Moist.
Travis King, that U.S. soldier that defected to North Korea, apparently coming back to the U.S. What I wonder what we paid. If we paid Iran $6 billion for 5 Americans,
what did we
give North Korea or China?
Uranium. Weapons grade uranium. Because they're going to use it to make energy.
North Korea said they were going to expel him. Sure they were.
The Army's focus right now is ensuring the soldiers' well-being and privacy. His status will be addressed at a later time by the chain of command. His privacy? Come on, man. 23-year-old Army private had admitted to entering the country illegally.
Went AWOL.
Leave that fool over there.
In the DMZ of North Korea and South Korea.
How about this? Sweden as the protecting power for the U.S. in North Korea was the United States' primary interlocutor. That must mean speak. Interlocutor in the matter. Swedish officials entered North Korea and transferred King to China, where the U.S. government received
Why aren't
him.
we worried about Sweden's relationship with North Korea? Apparently they have a good enough one to go in and get a U.S. soldier out and take him to China. And then U.S. officials thanked China for their role in helping to facilitate King's safe transit, but stated that China did not play a mediating role in King's release. You expect me to believe that?
Yeah.
Given the close relationship China has with North Korea, and you're trying to tell me that China played no role in this at all, and Sweden, the great Vikings from up north were the ones that played the role.
And do you think that when China had that guy in their possession, they didn't question him about all kinds of things?
Probably. This whole story just smells weird, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, they don't ever tell you the truth. They don't ever tell you the truth.
Johnny Hutton says, ask Mike Babcock. He can show you how to airdrop photos and videos to that monitor behind us. I don't know if you're familiar with that story. He was hired as the Columbus Blue Jackets head coach this summer. And in one of his meetings a bunch of his meetings with players, he was asking to see their, hey, how was your family? Oh, you got pictures to show me? And then as they were showing pictures, he was like scrolling through looking for, I don't know what he's looking for. But they determined he crossed the line and he's no longer the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I want you to play this one. Perfectly innocent. We had so just listen, we're pirating this from another program, so I want to say who the program was.
I can't see who the program was, but this was a Braves game the other day.
But this is property of Major League Baseball. The broadcast is. But I want you to hear the wordplay here. This is very interesting. Listen to this. Ignore this. You're not missing anything.
I'm just going to let this play. Major League Baseball, there's a pitching change and a batter coming up. Everyone's silent.
Listen to this.
So the Braves will go from Johnson to Hand, and the batter will be Mastroboni. That's probably a good thing Jeff Francoeur's in the other booth.
What are the odds? What are the odds that we have to laughter in a can? It's the only chance we have.
Well, I've heard it enough times. It still makes me smirk, but it doesn't make me chuckle anymore.
We're going to go from Johnson to Hand, and Mastroboni is in the batter's box. Wow. It's your Friday morning.
I don't know how they kept it together in the.
He said, "We're lucky Jeff Francoeur is in the other box."
Absolutely,
folks. We told you about the chopping block. Get by this weekend. Pick up the fajitas for $9.99, $8.99
a pound. Skirts, outside skirt steak.
Pick up hamburger meat for $6.99 a pound. White Trash Services 550-1826.
Give them a call. Get your weekly trash pickup set up for next week.
USA Concrete Coating. We're gonna have video. Junior has promised me video of USA Concrete Coating prepping, polishing, and sealing his concrete floor. It's a great idea. You could do that to your garage floor.
You could.
Fantastic service.
And you should.
That. And then Went Services for all your generator needs. Went Electrical, Went Plumbing, emergency plumbing. But the key thing is turnkey generator service. Let Went solve your electrical problems.
They've got Generac, but they've got other brands too. If you're a brand loyalist, Went can hook you up with pretty much any brand of generator
Cummins,
you
Briggs
want.
and Stratton,
Kohler.
They got it all.
Yep. And enough to power your whole house. And then don't
or
forget
your business, your building.
That's true.
Whatever you
don't
need.
be like HEB and Edna.
How about that? For what they had to throw, and I understand it's a hedge your bet deal. I get that. It's called self-insurance. HEB's huge. For them to lose, honestly, to lose one store's meat and frozen food, they just bring it all in from another store.
For the cost of putting in a generator and having the diesel and having to make sure it doesn't go bad to run that thing, they hedge their bet.
But
if it happens over and over again, they'll probably rethink that.
There you go.
And they're not providing water services to Victoria.
But you don't want that in your home either, though.
No.
If you've got half a cow in a freezer, you don't want to let it go bad.
Not at all.
There's the brother man checking in. He's been somewhere. So probably did a quick quinceañera this morning, early. That's how popular Brother Gary is on the Quincy Trail. Is people say, Brother Gary, we're thinking about having a Quincy on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. You just can't do it.
Busy.
Can't do it. How about Monday at 9:30 a.m.? That's when you want to have your party. Okay, because it ain't a Quincy without the brother there.
Nope, and they got to fit his schedule.
That's right.
Armor Air, get them on your schedule. Have them come check out your system, your AC, your HVAC. They'll make sure it's all working right.
579-0966.
Great folks. Honest service, great prices. Just real good to deal with. I've dealt with them twice this summer, and I have no complaints. They're awesome folks. Give Armor Air a call, 579-0966.
They came back even after you didn't pay the first invoice?
That's right. Well, they came back looking for the check.
Right. He dealt with them twice. They fixed his stuff, and then they came back looking for money.
Renee Medding checking in. Frank Mejia, good morning. B. Small says, I'm sure Junior's video work will be incredible.
Right. I bet. Yes. It's not a stable platform.
No, not at all. So
craziness. Astros play tonight. Diamondbacks. Brother G, what's your thoughts? Give him Mike 3 over there so he's got a 4.
Mike 4 instead.
What do you
They're on a must-win every game now. They can't tie Seattle, and then because Seattle has the tiebreaker, right?
Right.
Yep.
So they've got to stay one game ahead. They're one game up. 3 games to go.
If we end up losing and somehow going home, isn't it ironic how those mid-season games that, it's just one game at home,
oh my,
they matter.
They do. We have to, if Seattle wins 3, we have to win 3.
Absolutely. And I think we can do it.
I think we can too.
I just,
Almost
if we don't pitch Rafael Montero, G.
Texas, do you want them to lose and we take a chance at winning all the 3 and getting first place, or do you want them to beat Seattle?
I'm going to be humble here and be sincere. I really
want Texas.
No, I think the Rangers have earned a
first
playoff.
Place.
I do. And if they're going to make the playoffs, I've got no problem with the Rangers winning
Taking
the
the
division.
division.
They led the division most of the year, and
It's better if they beat Seattle a couple of times.
yeah.
You know what?
That's kind of where I'm at.
Has this woman suffered enough humiliation, or does she deserve the bill for having to be rescued?
Okay.
Bagley Township, Michigan. In northern
Bagley
Michigan.
Township.
Yeah.
It's a nice
Such
place in
boring
Michigan.
names.
Yeah.
Woman had to be rescued from an outhouse toilet after she climbed into the outhouse toilet
Oh,
to fish out her Apple Watch and then became trapped inside of it.
what was her
First-
watch doing? Did she reach back for the courtesy wipe and then drop the watch? How do you do that? She's a
I-
lefty. She's a lefty. Folks.
I don't know how you do that.
She's a lefty. The woman whose name was not released. I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know.
She lowered herself into the toilet after dropping the watch
What are you doing with your watch off your wrist when you're going to the rest?
Gross.
When you're using a
at the Department of Natural Resources boat launch at Dixon Lake. Can you imagine all the fishermen going in there going, hang on, guys, I'm going to drop a deuce and then we'll go fishing.
or after they've been on the lake all day drinking beers and eating beef jerky.
Oh, man.
First responders were called when the woman was heard yelling for help.
Help.
They had to remove the outhouse and then used a strap to haul the woman out.
She must have been a rather large woman. That's my thought.
No word on whether the woman was injured. I'm
State
sure her
police-
pride.
State police have a statement. If you lose an item in an outhouse toilet, do not attempt to venture inside the containment area. Serious injury may occur.
Just
There
the
will now
gas,
be-
I would think.
There will now be stickers all over every porta can. Do not go in after whatever you
And no
drop.
word whether or not she ever got the watch back.
Wow. Well, once you're down there, do you just fish around with your hand and you're looking for something hard?
I don't know if Apple Watches float,
No.
but if it was visible, it was sitting on top of something. And do you really want to put that watch back on your wrist after that?
No.
That's what I don't understand. That's
it's
one of
like
those things.
something out of Pulp
letting
Fiction.
it go. I'm probably not even fishing out my cell phone if that's the
Let's see
case.
if I can find that for you. I know we're almost out of time, but I want to see if I can find that for you.
And apparently, the state of Vermont not wanting folks to show up there just to be influencers to convince more people to come to
Play it.
Vermont.
Great-grandfather gave this watch to Granddad for good luck. Unfortunately, Dane's luck wasn't as good as his old man's. Dane was a Marine, and he was killed, along with all the other Marines at the Battle of Wake Island. Granddad was facing death. He knew it. None of those boys had any illusions, but
Talking
they
to
were
a
leaving that
5-year-old.
island alive, so
Talking to a
3 days
5-year-old
before
here,
the
folks.
Japanese took the island, your granddad asked a gunner on an Air Force transport named Wanaki,
Telling
man he'd never met before in his life, to deliver to his infant son, who he'd never seen in the flesh, his gold watch. 3 days later, your granddad was dead, but Wanaki kept his word. After the war was over, he paid a visit to your grandmother, delivering to your infant father his dad's gold watch. This watch. This watch was on your daddy's wrist when they were shot down over Hanoi. He was captured, put in a Vietnamese prison camp. He knew that if the gooks ever saw the watch, it'd be confiscated, taken away. The way your dad looked at it, this watch was your birthright. You'd be damned if any slope's gonna put the greasy yellow hands on it.
There you go. Christopher Walken, the great Christopher Walken, goes out there, but he does go on and later promote that he did keep the watch up his own bottom for 5 years after the dad died of dysentery. It's just Pulp Fiction has been Quentin Tarantino at his best, and kudos to Mr. Tarantino for that cinematic gem.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that into the outhouse talk.
There you go. I
Speaking
thought
of
it was-
outhouse talk, we've kind of hit
We're
that.
done, folks. This thing's gone into the toilet. We're out of here. We love you, folks.
Bye, folks.
Well, I've been kicked out of my near every